Call the meeting to order of the Newbury Historical Commission, February 9th, 7:02 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Careful, I know these are sticking.
Yeah, it gives people
I
amusement.
stuck in here and oiled your wheels there, just
No,
to
this is-
make your life more exciting.
Yeah, it's pitch in the floor.
Because it's sinking, so it made all that much sense.
Okay, everybody grab their minutes, go through those.
Spell it. Where is it? Website, report, and then number 2 there?
Oh, P.
Yep.
That's the only
And
thing that's
the
wrong.
P is not capitalized.
Okay.
It's all one word.
Did I ask you that one, or was that a different one?
No, you asked me Christine Malpeque.
Okay. Fix that.
It's good to meet you.
Well, here's
So-
the fix, right? I did fix it, yeah, this one on
Okay,
there. All right, just so you know what's actually there.
okay.
Okay, so I'll have still fix that.
We've got one spelling correction on the minutes. Any other changes or corrections?
Nope.
I don't see.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
I move that we accept the minutes as corrected.
Second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yay.
Okay, treasurer's report. Juan's sick, so do we have anything, or is it, it's all standing from last
Still
month?
standing from last month.
Okay.
so-
Well, we haven't had any, we don't have any bills since last month anyhow, so. Treasurer's report will carry on till next month. Website report.
Pretty much the same. You sent me that thing about the time capsule. I haven't added that though, but I love that. Definitely want to talk to, and I haven't sit down with Jack and almost, like, I don't know if it makes sense to make him his own section on the website with all the Newbury Chatter stuff. What are your thoughts? Like, how do you think I should do that? Or should I just add them in? Like, I don't want to, like, hijack his efforts. But-
No, have us just sit down with him and ask him what, with his permission,
Can
can
we
we
just, like, add them
add some
over?
stuff over onto our
Yeah.
website?
Well, I mean, most of the stuff that he's putting on there, it's not his.
No, I know, but it's still
No,
like
but I
he's
mean,
doing
it's-
all the like effort. So if
Right,
he's
no,
like,
I get that part, but
you
it's
know.
not like he's, like,
He's
we'd
just
be
searching
plagiarizing
for-
him. He's
yeah.
doing news articles and things that he's found, so I think,
Right.
I don't see how
Or maybe
he'd
have
problem.
have Jack's page.
Well, that's what I'm always saying. It's almost kind of like, you know, because not everybody's in Newbury Chatter. so not everybody can see what he's doing. But
Yeah.
then it's like, if we have almost like a portal, and then
Yeah.
it's kind of saves it.
But my interest is saving it.
Yeah, saving
for
it.
somebody else to see further in the future.
Right, well, that's my thought, because then, who knows what's gonna happen with
Because he's
Bernie
doing
Gray
really
Chatter, is my
deep-
thought.
So,
deep
but
research.
that goal is not satisfied by just having a link, though.
No, that's my point,
Yeah.
I wanna like copy what he's doing
And give
and
him a
have it,
section,
and
yeah.
then have it be like Jack's Newbury Chatter
I
research or
wouldn't
something.
use that word.
I know, but I'm
I'm
just
just saying,
using that,
yeah. If you want to say that these are contributions from Jack Rafiki, I don't have a problem with that, but I wouldn't put the chatter thing on there.
no, I get it,
Yeah, I mean, it's a Facebook page and it has nothing to do with most
Yeah,
of the towns.
So,
agreed.
whatever works.
Okay.
Jack's Corner.
Correspondence.
And I'm up.
That went well, okay.
Well, yeah, but look, that's one thing, yeah.
Okay.
Not that bad, see, it's really not that bad. I didn't bother to type it on the minute for the thing for everybody when I sent it, I think, 'cause it was blank. It's like, it's time consuming. So everybody can't forget, they're supposed to take the conflict
I
of
did that.
interest training online.
Mine's done.
So it's totally different now. You don't
You
do
don't have to
anything
print it,
with the
because I
state.
printed it and brought it in and showed me I didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
So you don't have to print it.
I just printed it in
just-
case somebody said something.
And
Long-
what about
Long and annoying.
the open meetings? Do we have to repeat that as well?
They didn't say anything about that.
No. I only do the ones they tell me to do.
I haven't heard anything about it, but I'm just.
I retired, I thought I'd have no more compliance
I
training.
know, it's like, once I started this, I was like, oh yeah, I hate these things. I was like, ugh.
But I probably should check this, Gretchen, this is the first year by yourself,
Yeah,
so. And because the other doesn't have to be logged in anymore, maybe that, I don't know. So we will check.
maybe we should print it out anyway and just, keep
Have
on
it?
file, yeah. 'Cause
I think you
God
get
knows
an
if
email.
if we don't do it, they'll ask.
No, I know. I got an email and then a link, and then I just immediately printed it just to like have it.
Yeah.
And then when I went to get the camera, I was like, here's my thing. She's like, oh, you didn't need to do that. Save your ink. And I was like, oh, good
Yeah.
to know.
She was very happy because then it's a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
You have to put it on a report, you have to file them in the file, and it's like, and
If
then,
it's all computerized, it makes more sense.
and that's like directly into the state,
Yeah.
so, yeah. So Rich sent an email about the windows at the schoolhouse with pictures,
Yes.
so.
Good efforts.
That was good, that's all done.
That attic's not that bad.
Well,
No, you just have to be nimble enough to get up the stairs, I think.
no, and it's not
mostly.
like I'm squeeby, but it's trying to walk up those steps.
Yeah.
I'm used to very steep stairs. They don't really intimidate me that much.
Yeah, that window is definitely gonna need replacement.
Yeah, so one of the other windows we can probably just rip and make fit. If it's the opposing one, it's the correct one.
Did you
So-
find a window?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you found the one that had a little bit narrower or something?
Yep.
Yeah. You were gonna look at the store.
At the
Sounds
shop.
like he's already got
Yeah.
one, so.
yeah,
Okay, just checking.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
so we
so,
just have Public Works do that? Or do we have to
No,
get a
we'll see,
contractor to do
you
it?
get me, Lon, somebody
Okay.
will do it.
All right,
A little bit more love will go into it if you guys do it, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
we got an email from Jen Doherty from Mass Historical. Mass DEP
Mm-hmm.
is forming a deconstruction work group to explore the feasibility of bringing deconstruction to Massachusetts. Rather than a quick demolition by machine with everything going to a landfill, they're trying to get mandates put, through cities and towns that they have to limit the amount of waste that's going to go to a landfill and save any significant architectural features for reuse.
is this on all
I'm not-
buildings, or
I'm
is
not
this
against
just
that,
on
but that's interesting.
historical?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's probably, a lot of it's driven by a lot of the demolition delay bylaws
Yeah.
probably to stop things, and this is like another piece to help.
Hmm.
But you can go online and,
It's gonna be interesting.
next, in March 15th, you can go on a virtual website, but it's not on Mass DEP's website, so I didn't really want to get into some other, then I'm going to end up getting 20 emails from every couple
Yeah.
of weeks, but, so if anybody's interested
That's
in
interesting.
seeing
in
what
general.
that's about, I can send this thing over to you so you have the link and all that. I got an email from Chrissy, who is the inspectional services admin over Town Hall. Somebody sent her an email and asked about, I had a resident contact me this morning to find out when a building on 2 Morgan Ave was built, and she looked it up on the assessor's card and said it's 1940, and they wanted to know if it was historical in any way. So she said she didn't know, but she would find out. So she asked me if I knew anything about it, and then I remembered it was Montgomery Park is what the name of the development originally was. And, well, actually, it's lots 18, 19, and 20, and it's actually the butchery store.
That's what I was
Yep.
gonna say.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so I sent her the information, and I sent her a copy of, did I give you guys this thing? I did not. Did not?
This?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole Montgomery Park layout.
Mhm.
So if you look at
18, 19, and 20 is right here.
yeah. So you can see, I just thought it was interesting to see. I had it actually saved to my computer. So that's the whole ball of wax.
So what's the history behind Montgomery Park?
It was a development, and I remember Nancy would speak about it, and I kept going, where is that? She's like, it's where Town Hall was, and that whole area on the back of it and everything. They
Makes
just,
sense, because that's all,
they
they're all
made a
like
whole
little
subdivision, and they called it Montgomery Park, and it
little
was
monopoly houses, they all
from
kind of look the same.
1897 and 1899, and they did all this. So sometimes people mention it, if you read something, and it says something about Montgomery Park, and one of the
That
history.
makes, then that's what they're referring to.
Now you know what it is. So I just thought it was
Yeah.
kind of interesting, and it is obviously historically interesting,
So
so,
all uniform lots.
Right, it's weird.
Yeah.
so,
And was this done by it was just a developer? Were they originally just summer houses? Like Asbury Grove?
I don't
That's
think
what I'm
so.
wondering, if it's, or just like little worker houses?
I didn't go into a whole history, I just wanted to show
Must be,
where it
because
was.
they
and-
seem a little nicer than like the Asbury Grove level of summer houses.
But, I mean, they were trying to build
Yeah.
up the year, it was the 1800s,
Yeah.
so that's like when the Woodbridge was in there, and
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, like,
starting to get in there, because the schoolhouse was still open. Our schoolhouse was still open when they were doing this, so.
There was no factory or anything near here.
Yeah, so the idea would be an employee, like Shawshing Village or something.
yeah, no.
Yeah, no,
More like,
so-
more summer houses done
Yeah,
on the way to the Plum Island.
could be.
So we'd have to, do a research on it,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
and there's information out there. I just wanted to let her know what it was, so I thought it was nice that
It's an
somebody
area of
moved in.
town that I really don't think about that often, but
See?
you know, it's interesting.
And you can see where the pond is.
Yeah.
And then you can see where we're sitting, which is like,
Interesting,
in the pond.
right?
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
pretty much.
It's interesting.
There you go.
So the lots were 50 by 100.
Yep.
So it's just a little fun historical stuff, because
Yeah.
we're historical people. I'm sure there's a much better thing than that, but I had it on my, I don't know why, but I have it on my computer, so.
See, this is when we need Eva.
Eva and Nancy would know all about it. No, seriously, 'cause Nancy's the one that mentioned it once, and I was like, what are we talking about?
Right.
Because that's when we would be going to Town Hall next door. Made no sense to me until I saw it, and I was like, okay. 1 Main Street's cropped up again,
Okay?
so,
Ooh, really?
oh, please.
Well, I'm just intrigued. You can definitely tell something's happening. It had a little for sale,
So-
land for sale by owner.
Chris,
Sign for
it. I thought the
Chrissy
person
again,
behind it was
she
gonna
was
buy
very
it.
busy.
I don't know. I don't know
Um,
what's going on.
they're looking for approval not required plan for the project. And they sent a plan.
Let me see.
You can't really see much
I know, but
because
I'm
it's
still intrigued.
minuscule printing. And
Uh-oh. Death Star.
they wanted to know if there was anything with this property that they needed to worry about it. And so she replied to the person and said that she looked on the permit link and there's no demolition permits for the existing, because I guess she was under the impression that something might have already been pulled, but it was long since gotten rid of, because, you know, it keeps changing hands, I think. So I sent her the letter that we sent in July of 2021 to Peter about this building, which somebody had pictures of, as I recall,
Yep.
that said what we would like is for the period glass and certain, you know, the leaded glass items and
Yeah.
hardware and
The
things
floors,
to save the antique, because they're over
they're probably getting
300-year-old pieces.
Only because the,
So now they know that we're
Fair.
gonna do the same thing to them, so
So,
there's no permit yet, it was an inquiry.
right,
so it's
Right.
only 2 lots though.
Now it's 3 lots.
Wait, one lot, 1, 2, 3. Oh, so
Part
they're
of-
gonna keep this?
Part of one lot is in Georgetown, because the line's right there.
I see. Access to be moved. Huh.
So, I mean, if you were really interested in looking at it, you might want to go in and talk to Chrissy, and
No,
she
no, I
probably-
can tell.
No, but she probably has a bigger one that you can
Yeah, yeah.
actually see, but that's the one that was sent. So
It's
we'll just wait and
it's
see what
intriguing.
happens next.
Did you look at it?
You know what it is, right?
yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah, I went and walked it.
it's just another unknown.
Another little.
It was pretty well hidden.
Well, they've
Oh,
been
please.
pulling stuff down. That's why I
Yeah.
assumed the people
Now
that.
you can see the house.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's like,
That's why I assumed the people behind it had bought it. Maybe they're the ones that want to flip it into 3 lots. I would want more control over that. Make the lot smaller, push it away.
no, that's, it is what it is.
Yeah, well,
You know?
it'll be interesting to see what
So
happens. I'll
that
keep an eye on
permit,
it.
that permit will come before our board again.
Yeah.
Probably, because this is another Realtor interested in knowing what can be done, I think.
Right, so we don't
We have to
perform
wait
pre-decisions.
until
It'll
they-
be a new permit.
Yeah, so, because the other permit's long gone, so
Right.
it's, they can't like re-up it. And it's different people,
It's
so.
somebody else's permit, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so
We went
the
through
realtor
enough with that
realtor is
one.
trying to spin that, well, it's already been approved. No, it hasn't.
It has to be.
It's changed hands
Yeah,
now,
approved
so it's
again.
now, no.
Cool.
Then we had an email from Devlin Construction and Contracting and Maintenance. I'm currently working with Clifford Hershey over at 15 Coleman Road, and he wants to install a solar system on the separate barn structure at the address. But they wanted to reach out to us proactively to see if it's considered historical, and if it is, if there's any restrictions on that.
I don't know which one.
Where is that letter from Scotland Road?
Right?
That Mass Historical responded back that solar panels are supposed to be put on commercial roofs, non-historic areas. I mean, that's a historic
Yeah, but-
wall, that's a historic marker, that's a historic houses on that street.
So oh, you mean it's the barn that's next to the old house?
I don't know which barn it is. There
Hold
was
on,
a
I have to
total-
look.
there was-
I have to
there was
look.
a barn
It's
and like,
15, so.
Yeah.
Well, 15 Coleman Road was the address of the house, so
So
it's
it's gotta
always
be
So
a
it's
red
red
it's the
barn.
opposite side of the Fatherstone.
Right, so I
So-
think there's like a red barn there. I
Behind
wanna
it.
look.
Yeah.
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 I'd
Well,
say-
one of them
I'd
they
say-
moved. One of the old, there was one outbuilding that they couldn't save because they said if you looked at it too hard, it was gonna fall over. And then there was
Yeah.
one that they moved.
I think and they took down the,
so you're talking across the driveway or across the street?
No, everything's in 15 Colburn.
So one barn and 2 sheds, so they took one down.
One was like totally ready to be
There was
demolished.
a lot there.
That was when, and then, you know, he was made the section for us, but I thought they moved something. But I have to check with
Was it this-
Martha
was
or
it
look
the-
on the thing.
Brick building?
I don't think it was brick. I think it was a barn,
I don't think there's a street view here. Damn.
but I'd have to look in the satellite thing, but do, you know,
So the
so.
reply to him is we need a diagram and a picture of
Okay.
the proposed work.
It's that barn. I can't give you a street view, but
So it has to face south, so it's gonna be the one facing the road, the
Yeah.
Fieldstone Lane.
yeah. Let me zoom out so you can see a little. So like, this is before all the houses. Gotta see if
And I
I
didn't think to pull the.
Yeah.
I know. I hate solar. I just really hate it. It's so ugly.
Sorry.
I know, it's just so ugly.
It saves me an awful lot of money.
I know, it's
I'd
gonna
just
run a
rather
line
it
over
on
your
like,
son's house.
I'd rather it like tucked away on like
I was
its own
gonna say,
little
if it was on
stand.
the back.
Yeah, I mean, if they're on the back of a house.
Well, that's what the Ipswich Historical says, is anything facing the back, we don't care about.
Yeah,
Well, because they have,
But-
that's what they have, different districts.
Yeah.
But,
I know. We
because
disagree
we
with
went
it.
to that thing,
I just think that makes sense.
so, you know, people don't freak out that they can't, you know, put a bathroom on the back of their house. It's as long as you can't see it from the street. The house, whatever you're putting on cannot be higher than the existing structure.
Right.
And those are, I think they're called conservation districts. They have like 3 different kinds.
Right. Much stricter. Okay.
All
Well-
right, so then, I don't know when the, you know, what the timeline would be on this. Do we, I mean, we're talking about another 4 weeks to answer him then. Should we get the information, and if it's in the, it's not gonna be like, we have to look at the building, or Martha might know what building they're talking about too, so.
I don't know that we can render anything other than an opinion.
Yeah.
We don't,
I mean, ideally, it would be put on
this is
the
post,
barn.
this is post-development,
Yeah.
so it's not part, I'm saying this for everybody to review with me. This is post-develop, the development's already been approved.
Yeah, there's multiple houses on site now. It's not just like, not just this
So-
anymore.
It would
But
be-
the other houses are new, and this is not.
Do the other houses have solar on them?
And do we know if there's any restrictions on?
It's only, the only thing that I know for a fact is the preservation restriction that's on the piece of land where the stone
Oh,
is.
okay.
But, you know, I mean, the question would, I guess the question is if we knew what building it was, and it's old.
Yeah, so
that
he
we-
does, so the first, for round 1 is he needs to respond back with diagram, building information, and the proposed installation. Second step is we need to check with Martha to see is there anything in the plan saying what can be done to existing the antique house and barns? So those are the first 2 things, and when we get his information back, get an answer from Martha, because planning board does write stuff about the historic building and keeping it the way it is.
Yeah,
So it's
And-
under historic architecture and buildings in the town, so that's part of their like right thing for developments. I just read it last week.
and give them points for asking before they did it.
Agreed. Agreed, honestly, nowadays.
So I told him that we were having a meeting, and we would, you know, and I would get back to him if we had an answer for him right away, but if not, I'll just tell him what we,
So
That's an answer.
Yeah.
It's just he has to have more follow-up.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we discussed, I'll get back to him, I'll meet and talk with Martha and look at, I have this stuff at home, but I honestly, I couldn't remember which, because I can't tell what building it is, so,
Right. I know, it's vague.
Yeah.
You need a picture. at
I couldn't
least.
tell it from the satellite picture either, what it was.
I drive by that a
It's all
lot.
just disturbed.
Because, I mean, the new
Well,
ones.
this is old
the
too,
new
'cause
ones
it's all
are new,
built out
but-
now.
So the old ones were in the front,
Yeah.
so I don't know which one it is, so. And I haven't been up there in a dog's age, so.
Yeah.
All right, so
So with
I'm gonna
that,
check all this.
I said we were gonna save it, the response from Mass Historical about the solar panels on Scotland Road,
Yeah,
about where solar panels are supposed to be
Put.
and not put.
I have it, you know I have it.
I
It's
know
at home.
you have
And I
it.
emailed it to all of you, I
Do we
believe.
remember what it's called?
I know I saved it in my computer.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I have this much prior meeting information that I have to three-hole punch and put in binders, so I don't have it on.
All right, so we'll need that for next meeting,
Okay.
because that'll surely be part of the response to this
Yeah,
request.
I don't have it with me, but I have the state recommendations for where to put solar arrays.
Yep,
But that's mostly dealing with ground mounted.
yep.
Yeah,
You know, when it gets into residential stuff, they're a little more hands-off.
Mm-hmm.
so,
And-
I mean, because the only reason that this meets anything to do with us is the age of the building. And
Which I-
and if there are or not any restrictions that were besides the stone when they
Yeah.
met with the
So
planning board.
planning board may have other stuff
Yeah,
written in there that we don't know about, so,
but I mean, other than that, we don't make rulings on whether somebody can have,
no, that's what I'm
you
saying,
know,
so
unless
unless,
we have, that's part of a district and we don't have
Well-
one.
that doesn't mean that Mass Historical doesn't have an opinion or something.
Or
They have a
suggestions how to do it.
Guidelines.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to follow that at least a little bit and see if there's any directives from them
Yeah,
about what they're
I could
supposed
do
to
that
do.
too. That's part of my new job.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fancy.
Yeah, because I mean, roof lines usually get so crazy. It's hard sometimes to even put them on. You know, obviously a barn's different, but most of the time I feel like they're on the ground because of the.
Lon tried to put them on his house.
Did he?
Yeah. He doesn't have the structure to hold the weight.
Right. Well, there's that. I'm just afraid of them burning.
In many cases, some of them don't look so bad, other cases,
Well, I
to me,
have
they're
I have a
just,
black roof and I have black
they're
panels.
just hideously
Yeah.
ugly. But, you know, the people across the street from me have them,
I had a
the people
client
behind me have
That's
them.
right.
North
my
Andover
son
put
has
in
them,
the
yeah.
Tesla one.
Yeah.
And we were talking on his porch one day, and I'm like, what are they doing next year? He's like, oh, they're putting in a Tesla roof. And I was like,
My,
"Ooh, geez."
my wife was like, be cool with the lights, our credit is down to $650 with the National Grid. It's like, oh, okay.
Get it to last for a little bit longer.
Yeah, okay, so,
You gotta squeak through the winter, you know, try to
Okay.
come up with a zero bill.
okay,
We've only
so,
had 1 year of zero bill. We're
That
usually
would be
around-
my goal.
We're usually around $50 in December, and that's it for the year.
That's
I'll
not bad.
talk to Martha. This package is the subdivision for the common driveway on 170. It came for
Oh.
you, but you were in your meeting,
Oh.
and I happened to
Yeah,
go
what's
in.
going on with that? Is that actually moving forward?
No, they're just
Trying again?
they're trying again. They've reduced it to 4 houses. This is 170 Orchard Street, Bulgaris Apple Orchard.
Wasn't it 15 or something originally, something ridiculous? Or was I thinking a different
Was-
spot?
well-
It was they've started, this is the
It's like, what,
4th
the
try.
15th
Yeah.
subdivision that's supposed to go in
Gotta
back
get something on
somewhere?
that
So that's what I
lot.
mean. There
That's
was
what they had all the Pearson ones, right? Isn't that Pearson Drive, that little, the one that shoots off of?
Pearson's on, the Pearson development, that's on the other side of that's within stone's throw, but this is different.
No, but I mean, they kept trying it with the wetlands
They were
and
trying to do
the
the 40B
vernal
back there.
pools
Yeah.
and the whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 yards, so.
Is this also supposed to be affordable, or?
No,
No.
this is 4 very large houses, 4-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom.
Oh.
So, I was part of the meeting, and I went through it, and I mean, they've got 6 exceptions and they got the houses right together, and I question what they're doing with the they got independent septic systems, but they're mounded injected systems, question mark. Two of the houses are on the road, two of them are sharing a driveway. The police chief chimed in and said, sharing driveways is nothing but police calls because people fight with each other over the
Yeah.
driveway. So they're not doing any sidewalks, not doing any trees, they're not doing they don't have the opening onto Orchard Street.
Not wide enough, the entry, you mean?
They have to have 30-degree tapers at the end.
Yeah.
And they don't. I said, well, whether the planning board, it's the planning board, the fire department still has that rule. So you just can't gloss over that. So the only question I answered, because I was on Zoom, they handled it to me about, does the Historic Commission care about the stone foundation that's still in the middle of the field? I said, no, there's nothing we
Yeah.
can do about
Do we
it.
have any pictures of that? I meant to ask you that.
Of the foundation, it's nothing really to even look at.
You know,
It's, from my understanding, it is not the barn for the Longfellow house, it's the barn for the Bulgaris house out front.
okay.
We should have a drone to take pictures and just drive around.
We
Yeah,
just-
okay.
Town just bought one.
Did they?
$8,000.
Is it really? I don't mean that much.
No.
I was
You
thinking
go to
like,
the Apple store and get one for $500.
that's what I mean, like, I was thinking much cheaper.
So, from what I understand, the 25 acres towards the tree in the center, there's a lot of confusion about the original Longfellow homestead. Was a much bigger, larger house, from what I'm gathering, in the middle of the 25 acres. This was probably the steward's house on the road, the homestead up front. So there was, because the barn up front went with that house up front. That house up front is not the original house. There still was a second one. But yeah, so most of the land's gonna stay open because they can't get anything to perk.
That's good.
So, what they'll be doing is, so they've had one public hearing and then they're gonna have a second public hearing.
Is this a dead end?
Yeah,
They
That's
would
the
have to
That's the
be.
private drive.
Because it's,
This is the private drive?
So the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
is,
that's the
cul-de-sac
shared.
is gonna be a private road,
Okay.
and then two more houses on a private drive after that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot of money.
and it
Be
was
sharing a
it's
driveway.
Longfellow,
Yeah.
right?
No kidding.
yes, as in Wadsworth Longfellow's earlier family. Longfellow's son married Adams of the Adams house on Pearson Drive. And the history, I don't know which Byfield book it is, talks about carrying the bride being carried in the chair from the Longfellow house over to the Adams house, along with a chicken, a rooster, and a goat or something funny like that.
I feel like I'm in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
So-
those are the kind of things we should reenact on, like, Newbury Day, is like
Yeah.
carrying somebody in a chair and see.
Yeah, so I can picture the freshly tilled field.
Whipping the
with
Quakers through town.
Well, like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
So that's not where the original apple trees were, is it?
yeah,
Sort of?
No.
Do we know
No.
exactly where those orchards are? Like, there's no, like, random trees still
there,
hidden, right?
there is still an orchard. That is not part of this development. It's right against it. But Kay Bulgaris still owns like 10 acres
Okay.
abutting my house in Orchard Street. And that still has possibilities of first generation Byfield apple trees there. That was part, Byfield and Newbury were known for two things, onions and apples. They brought apple pickers out from the city to pick apples, and that was one of the reasons they had the trolley and the train system, because the pickers came out on the train, and then the apples went back in on the train. Lots of great reading about it. apple trees can last over, I think it's like 300 years or
Yeah,
something
that's why I
crazy.
wondered if there was still any up there.
So I went up there and walked. There is still lots of fruit-type trees still up there. Whether there's any first generation, I don't know. But certainly very interesting.
Didn't you tell me once that it was the first apples planted?
They have a name, yes, yes. What were we redoing that research for?
I feel like I remember that conversation.
Do you? Because I
Yeah.
almost thought it was like when Chris was around, but
Well, you might have had it then too.
No, I think we've done it.
I'm
I
sure.
think it was part of a meeting like a year or
Well,
so
the thing
ago.
is, it's in one of my minutes, I'm sure. What I do, just because nobody cares, but what I do is I
See,
keep
I want to
the,
graft an apple tree.
I keep
So
the,
this is the kind of
just the
stuff that, like,
single sheets
You need to be.
in
An
a binder.
old-fashioned
So I can go,
variety.
yeah,
Wine
if
sap
I
or
really need to
something.
know what
Yeah.
it is, I can find the
That's what I
original
need.
stack.
Cool.
But this gives you enough general information. So I keep these separate, so if somebody says, didn't we do that?
You can flip through them.
Yeah, or else I can, try to
Because there
scan
was
them
the
all.
discussion about
in
the
the thing and see if
the
I can find
Longfellow
the word.
corn, which was named after that field. Longfellow corn, which was on the Burpee seed packets, was that special breed of corn grown here in Byfield. It was a hybrid, and that's what was called Longfellow corn on the I think it was the Burpee packages, and it began here.
Cool.
So, yeah, we gotta dig that up. Where is all that?
I'm sure I
It was the
have-
same meeting. It was the same meeting, and it was like a year, 1 to 2 years ago.
Okay, well, then, you know me.
All right.
I have an entire house full of every single thing we've ever talked about, thought about, or.
Now you have a,
Yeah.
And that should be on the website.
Yeah, that's the
So-
stuff we need. Okay.
Well, then you can come
So
over
that
to my
being a
house and
cul-de-sac,
sit.
aren't the police and fire gonna be all over that and not want it? And under
No, this
restrictions
is
about
where
that?
the friggin' building code
Well-
has just been shifted from the fire department that dictated the size of the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
over to the building inspector now.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
really?
now the cul-de-sac used to have to be 140 feet in diameter. Now they got it down to under 100 they just measure the largest fire truck to see if it'll turn around in it. But they don't, no allotment for snowbanks, no
Yeah.
allotment for
Cars
the
parked
guy
along the
driving it.
side. Yeah.
No that's the problem with the two houses on the driveway. So then they got an exception, the road is not wide enough, so they got an exception for that. They don't have the bevels at the beginning. Then they're putting the smaller cul-de-sac in, and there's a couple other exceptions on top of all that. But yeah, and it's gonna be a private road, it's not gonna be a town road.
So that, now, this is a serious question, because it doesn't belong to the town, they don't plow it,
right,
Nope.
and is the fire department
required.
required to go onto private property like that? I mean, like the road is private, it's not ours?
If it's on fire, we have to go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, they go.
Because I know
'Cause
there was a big thing
our street
about
was
the one
private
off
when they first
Highfields.
built it.
I can't think of the name of that one.
My
You know what I
street,
mean?
Courtney Drive,
That
was
was
private for the
private?
first 2 years we were there.
I-
Really?
Yeah,
What-
was a lazy
what's
contract.
the road that comes off of
Lazy
Scotland?
developer.
Shoots-
Highfield.
Yeah, that whole development they have up behind there. It's got its own road, and for a long time it wasn't yet accepted as a town
yeah,
road.
Yeah,
same with Courtney Drive, where I
Yeah,
live.
right,
yeah.
yeah. So these are things I just don't know because I come from the city and we didn't have that stuff.
Yeah, right? All the roads were part of the town, the city.
All the roads have been there for 200 years.
Yeah.
Well, I come from Melrose. Melrose was part of Chelsea and stuff original. It's like, what? Like, how do you go from,
Yeah, well,
hey, all right, so that's what the reason, did you want this for yourself or, because it is addressed
I might as
to you?
well, yeah, I have a file folder for it, so
Okay,
I'll do
so I
it.
mean, either it'll be in my house in a file folder or your house in a file folder.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I'm done with these. Wait a minute, now we went so off topic now. Okay, all right. I sent emails. I try to do this a little like logical. Yeah, I sent an email because someone asked me about what cemeteries the town owns. And I thought the only one we actually own is the first settlers' burial ground,
Yeah.
okay? And.
What about
And yes, there-
Elmwood that's over in?
And
Cottage
there's
Lane?
there's
What's
a
that one?
difference between a burial ground and a cemetery.
Okay.
A burial ground is usually attached to a church, and a cemetery is
Separate.
separate. So, and it's the only, so I sent it to Nancy and Eva, but Eva's been tied up with family stuff, so. And Nancy said that both she and Fred think that it is the only town-owned cemetery. Now, I know like the ones right up here, they belong to the church.
Yep.
And some of
about
the other
one-
ones,
the one down-
Greenwood,
Cottage Road,
yeah.
there's a cemetery
There's
right there, that's
two,
old.
actually,
Yeah.
but they are taken care of and owned by separate entities. And then
The
there's
sons and daughters, or?
no, I don't know exactly on all of them. I'm going to get all this stuff from Town Hall, because Leslie had all these books with all, and it shows you all the plots and who's in them and whatever, and scan them and put them on the town website, our
Yep.
page on the town website, and then I will also give
Yeah,
it to
and
you.
then,
But then there's the one across the river
hi,
from.
somebody's in there.
um,
Hi.
Hi, I had to pick this up for Ashley Noyce and John Kelly.
Oh, they're out on a run.
I was gonna say, I don't know who that is.
They told me to drop it off at the fire station, but I couldn't.
Okay, I got it.
Thanks.
so much.
Thank you. That was the Friday moment, and that's right.
We have very exciting meetings.
Oh, I
Is it
didn't,
locked?
you're the one that closed that, not me.
I know, but I couldn't listen to the radio anymore.
I hear you. But it also means I can't get it back.
Oh, no.
Are the codes different than the outside?
I can get in that one.
So can I?
Continue.
The one next to, well, I always say Fernals, but you guys might not know what I'm talking about. The canoe
Yep.
place
Oh,
over the
canoe
river.
place, yep.
It used to be Fernals.
Yep.
So there's a little cemetery there.
That, yeah, that's
that
right,
was like
yeah, yeah.
little- Yeah.
And then there's another one, there's a tomb somewhere down around Marsh Ave.
Mhm.
And then there's like two at, like, this Evergreen and something else, like it's actually off Cottage, it's like really two separate cemeteries.
Yep.
And then there's the two here, and then there's the Byfield Cemetery, which is part way into Georgetown
Yeah.
and part way into, in Byfield.
That's where the Fergusons are.
Where is that?
It's
Across from the Byfield Parish.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's a bunch of people in there.
So, they're all dead. And, but
a
the
nice old
only one
cemetery.
that the town actually owns that I can see anywhere is the First Settlers.
That, the first settlers or the old
Burial
movie?
ground. First Settlers
First,
burial ground.
first settlers, I thought was sons and daughters.
No. Everybody thinks that, but we own it. And because we own it, we're responsible for we own the property.
Yeah,
They were responsible for the upkeep, but if you go, we now have elected people who are on the care of that.
okay.
So it's on the town website showing, there's a committee. So
Gotcha.
the town can't have a committee to take care of something they don't own. So that boils that one down to, that's it. So, yeah, it was granted over
Yeah.
at one point. So that's it about cemeteries. Yeehaw.
Okay.
Progress.
All right.
I already told you guys this, but I sent an email to Tracy about how we can't get on the Mass Preservation Project Fund grant for the Lower Green because the house isn't in the state files. And then I sent an email to Chrissy, again, poor Chrissy, she's been very busy for us in Inspectional Services, about 5 Hanover.
And the roofing?
So, and then Peter came out while I was there, and we talked, and she said, you know, because I sent her the preservation and the conservation restrictions, just so they would have them handy, even though I'd already sent them before. And I said, we couldn't really tell, but there's nothing on the system, and she double-checked, and so she told Peter, they didn't pull a permit, that they saw trucks out there, people were up on the roof, so he was supposed to go and look to see.
And there was a sign out for a while.
Yeah.
They took the sign down.
Well, they were done working.
For their work.
So he was gonna look at that, so I will follow up, but I just,
All right.
and.
Classy.
Yeah,
I think
Easier
people,
to ask for forgiveness than to ask for
well, that,
permission.
honestly, I
That's kind
think
of the
Byfield motto.
running
people
rule.
think
It's the
that
running
like
rule
no
with
one's
everybody
paying
now.
attention is
Yeah.
really all it is.
Yeah, and then there's people like me who are on a main drag that if I like put a piece of stick in the wrong place, everybody would be called. So I can't hide. I had noticed that there is a workshop called Administering Local Historic Districts and Design Review on the Mass Historic website. It's one of the seminars. So I sent it to Robin and said, you might like to share this with the group, because this would be obviously something that they should, sign up for.
Right.
And he's like, as a matter of fact, we're having our own personal workshop,
Oh,
and it will be the top item on the next meeting. This is of the Upper Green Historic Study District, Local Historic Study District.
Lower Green.
Lower Green, see, I'm getting tired now already. And that will be on February 13th, which is Monday,
Yep.
at 11 a.m.
Oh,
Because a lot of people live, some of the people in Thing live out of town, because they're from historic New England.
yep.
And Jennifer Doherty is going to be running it, and there's going to be a Q&A for the committee, and we should go.
Where is
I mean,
it?
anybody that can go. At Town Hall. It's going to be in the meeting room
At 11?
at 11 a.m.
Can do that.
On my phone.
So, we just have to, we have to be careful, because if we're going to have more than 3 of us there, then I'll have to post a meeting.
No.
We can't discuss anything.
You're not discussing anything.
Well, if we all
No
get up and ask
deliberation.
questions, no, so we're good?
Deliberation has to be between us.
Yeah,
We can talk to anybody,
So we can't discuss anything while
just
we're
don't
there.
sit together.
yeah.
So, and we already know how paranoid I am about that in any meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so just so you'll know, and I think I emailed it to you, but
Yeah,
I did on 1/31,
11 a.m. Town Hall.
so yeah. So I think that'd be
So-
really good.
So on this subject, what's the rest of the feelings of the board? Would we not want to continue, if and when we get the Lower Green Historic District developed, wouldn't we be going on to the Upper Green Historic District?
One would hope.
Yes.
And all the work's mostly all done already for that
Because
one.
you're already going to have a commission.
No, well, but I mean, it's already a National Historic Registry District. So the
Right.
thing is like this thick of every single house, the history.
they already did
all
most
the
of the legwork.
information. So all of that,
So another thing that we need, and Lon's not here, so this is really important, is, and maybe that we should even send it in an email to Lon, is when this district gets established, it needs to, they're gonna have, the town will have a historic district commission. It shouldn't just read Lower Green Historic District Commission, it should be town of, you don't want to have 2 district commissions, like the city.
Yeah.
It needs to be inclusive of all our districts in our city limits, not just Lower Green District Commission.
Totally makes sense.
it is going by, is going by Local Historic District Study Committee.
Okay,
Because
so,
that's what it is right now. So it could easily be Newbury Local Historic District Committee.
commission.
Potato, potato at this point.
Well, other towns, it's the Local Historic District Commission.
Right, but that's not the same as this group. This group is the study group.
Study.
This is
Right,
study
but
group.
See the
they're
feasibility.
but it's not being called the Lower Green
Right.
Local Historic
Right.
Historic
I'm
District.
just saying
So
that-
again, it's still a,
So we want to make sure nobody changes it. So the commission the town will form, just like the historical commission, will be another multi-person board, and it should be inclusive of all districts in the town of Newbury.
and that will have to be a decision that's made by the people who are gonna be on it. if they're
Well,
gonna sign up for that, you know what I mean? So,
that'll be the last phase.
right,
That after it's complete, then the selectmen will appoint that board.
yeah.
And don't we have one house in town that has its own,
It's its own district.
it's its own district, right? What house was it?
Yeah, what was that?
Coffin House?
Adam's house?
I don't remember.
I don't remember that any
You
of
would
them
know
has
that
got
too.
its own district.
Yeah,
A single house historic district?
yeah.
I don't think so, but I'm not gonna swear to it.
Yeah, same.
All right,
Question.
Okay.
I know we have them
It's
on
very familiar.
the Mass Historic Macris, that they're part of the Mass Registry, but not their own single, you can have one,
I know that.
but I
thought
don't know that
when
we do.
When we were having that meeting, that we had something different about one of the houses in town that's already gone beyond, and it's already doing that. All right, just be aware of it.
Yeah, well, we have some that are on the state registry, and then we have like 3 or 4 that are on the National Historic Registry, besides the Upper Green Historic Registry, National Historic Registry areas. So there's multiple pieces of all these places, so I'll look and see if I have any notes on that local one house. I know we can, I think it came up
Yeah,
to make
I
it,
know we
because
talked
we were
about
gonna
it.
make, but we were gonna even make the Glow of Green its own, just the green
Yeah,
with the
with the
schoolhouse.
schoolhouse.
We were talking about
Yeah.
that at one point, but, because it's doable. Some places have, like, say like the Upper Green is a great example. We have that whole National Historic Registry District, but it doesn't really mean anything as far as, there's no rules and regulations, that's the problem with them. Other than you get to go, oh, we have one.
so,
But you can pick 3 other houses within the same area that are also strictly their own, because they're not attached. It's hard to have a detached place when you've got this whole area, so you can make a single house one. And a lot of communities have that. They have multiples. I was reading something on the HISRB that, about places, they have like 15 of them, single house ones, because they're not at all
They're not
They're not-
contiguous. Yeah.
anywhere near each other,
Yeah.
but they didn't want anything to happen to that one particular piece. But I do not believe we have one, because who's in charge of it? You know,
well, we
just-
thought we had one on the Upper Green, and we didn't have anybody in charge of that either. So we just need to be aware of it. So where are we at? We can't get a grant to fix the schoolhouse roof because the schoolhouse is not listed.
in the Mass Historic Registry, State Registry.
What's the,
The difference between MACRIS, which is a list of people, of houses or objects like the stones and things like that, that have been put into the MACRIS, the reports were done, but they haven't been reviewed to be with extra stuff to be put on the state register. We do have some, but it is not, everything that's in MACRIS is not.
so
I
what's the
didn't
next,
realize that.
what's the next step on the schoolhouse?
As far as
To
What-
get
do
it-
Like, what
To
was
get
your
it
new?
in the
to
registry.
get it in there, well, now they're doing the study on the whole, they're doing the whole study committee for the whole thing. Once the
So
whole-
they're doing the whole
If the
thing?
local historic district is created, it's created under Mass Historical Commission rules and regs, and it goes on the Mass State
So it'll be
Registry.
covered.
Okay, yeah.
So we just have to wait for them to be done.
Just wait.
For then us to
But
get a grant.
I would still like, at some point, I would like them, either they work with it or figure it out, or we do.
Can we wait?
We
that
need
long?
to get a
For the roof?
preservation
only
restriction
thing.
on that building, and a conservation restriction on the upper green and the lower green, so that they cannot be changed.
Can we build the handicap ramp first?
I have information about that too, and there's actually a thing you can use to prove you don't have to do it.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think I've been doing all this time?
You're
I
the
do
best.
2 hours a day,
So
8
glad we
hours
started
a
paying
week.
her.
You are the best. So,
We're still in correspondence, though.
yes, we are, so,
Yeah.
so if you'd let me get through it. So everybody knows when the thing is now, right?
Yeah,
my
Next
phone.
Monday, 11
Monday at
o'clock.
11 o'clock.
I'll be there with some
I'm
Town
sure
hall.
you can't be, and I don't know what we're gonna do with full on, but, I've sent out stuff to listserv to find out about repairs on the windows and restorations, and I did get some answers of people that do it, and one of them, of course, is the window lady, the window woman of New England. Another one is, Heartwood Window Restoration from Charlemont, Mass.
Okay.
You
I don't
know,
know where that is.
right next door, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see if I get any more information. I
Right.
also asked for information about the roof, and the only answers that I've gotten so far are
Two guys saying
wood, with very specific wood, though.
We'll cover that in
So-
old business.
And then, am I through mail? Please, God, am I through mail?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so, and then before we get started in a whole other discussion, your food is in there somewhere.
Your food's in dispatch.
See, we knew you
Well,
were
we ate
hungry.
some of it.
I created a list and I gave it to Martha and building inspector and his admin. And it is all of the homes that I know of that I can prove right now until I find more of them, that have preservation and/or conservation restrictions on their properties. And many of them are in national registry districts, so, of which we have several kinds. So I gave this out, so you all have it. And the one that's questionable at this point is the Elm Street house, because I cannot find anywhere that it's been signed, sealed, and delivered from the state. And Martha is now looking into that, because I sent her the information I have. So, if I find more, she might have some more to add for the conservation restrictions, because the planning board would have that more
Right.
than. So, just so that you'll know, I have this going, obviously I pulled part of it off that MacRis spreadsheet, but, and probably.
So what you're saying, you don't have the restrictions? The Elm Street house has,
But they are not signed. Anything that I have that I was given was not actually approved by the state. Everybody signed it and then it went there. They had questions and wanted changes, and they apparently, from anything that I was given, did not get finalized. So I can't in good conscience put this on here because I don't know that for a fact. Martha was surprised because she might have a packet that I didn't get when I originally asked. But
Okay.
now she's had help, she finally got it, and then she's finally got another admin, because the other one went on maternity leave. And they may have found it buried, but she's gonna check her
so
files and other things.
there was a preservation restriction, there's part of the development plan,
Yep,
and then there's a preservation restriction that the condo development holds
yeah,
now. So there's two.
yeah, but it's the one house that we're concerned with.
Well, that's what we're talking about, on 84,
Not the
84
whole
Elm.
Caldwell Farms.
No, not the whole thing.
No,
No,
that's the
This-
one I'm talking about.
there's one that stemmed from the development that was part of,
I know all about
Yeah,
what it was, where it
okay,
came from.
yeah, all right.
However, I'm telling you, I do not have a copy of a finalized, signed one by the state
so
of
it's,
Massachusetts.
so it's accepted by the selectmen,
Yeah, it was
and
accepted
it
by
but
everybody.
it still needs to be
And the owner at
accepted.
the time, and then it gets sent into the any preservation restriction has to be approved by Mass Historical Commission.
Does that mean it's non-enforceable?
I'm not getting into that, it's not part of my job description,
Okay.
and we're on tape. So Martha was gonna check on that because that was another part of my visit, because I gave her this list and she asked the same question, why isn't this on here? And I said, and that's
Okay.
why. Another piece of interesting hoopla, quickly. Oh yeah, because we have multiple things going on now. We talked about the 375th,
Yes.
And I have a list of all the people that were on it.
Mhm.
Because you guys were asking who was on it at one point. So it was Barbara Rogers, Bert Noyes, Channing, Chris, Edward Russell, Jim Cunningham, Marcia Pierce, wasn't she also on the Historical Commission? Yeah. Peg Plummer,
Passed away.
Richard Cunningham, Robert Brown,
Bob, yeah,
and Ward
Westerhoff,
Westerhofer.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole board that was on there.
Okay,
Just let anybody want to know.
all right.
So I have it, so if anybody asks again, we know. That's almost it. And I am doing 2 seminars. One for developing a historic preservation plan, it's never too late, and state and federal historic resources review, project review and compliance. So we'll see how much brilliance I gain for that. And I believe we're done with my happy little. And then there's that, the other things are actually on the list, wherever the list is. It's very, very list.
Okay, so we just did number 6, seminars that Jan's taking, 73, 75th, we got that. Coleman Road, we already covered.
Yeah,
Pink House restrictions,
yeah, that's another thing.
okay.
That,
Joe.
that came up because of the preservation restriction list I was making. So I asked Mark what was going on with that. And we're waiting for Mass Historical Commission to, they're waiting for the actual deed changeovers
Yeah.
before they will put it in a preservation restriction. And then the same thing holds with the parcel A at 15 Coleman Road. The deeds have to
Yeah,
get
the antique
processed,
house.
but the stone.
Oh, just the stone,
The stone.
okay.
Because that's the piece that we're gonna have a preservation, we hold the preservation restriction
Yeah.
on. And then we'll also hold the preservation restriction on the Pink House when that finally gets, when that gets
Done.
finalized. So that's done. So that was
Good.
that info. Am I out of here yet? I did that. Oh, I put these on here. God, I'm good.
People are gonna have a hissy fit when that thing starts having construction going about.
Oh, please. I don't have to look at it every day now. Okay. So anything you wanna?
Okay,
throw
so
in there in
that's,
between all
so,
this?
no, we're good there. Year-end report,
This is an Excel spreadsheet from Tracy. Did anybody come up with any other things that they thought would be
No.
good for us to do? Okay, so I put them down here. The review and update of the facilities for the Lower Green, the review and updates of facilities being the 1635 website, add to an update preservation information on Macris, update the demolition delay bylaw because I really want to do that, and increase the visitation at the 1877 schoolhouse. We might as well look like we're bowling.
Okay.
Those are good
Okay,
goals.
and then I had to put the organizational chart in, so I did that. And then the other thing is we had accomplishments. So I put in, we hosted the Schoolhouse for Town Days and Sales and Trails. We acquired photos and articles that were given to Rebecca for inclusion in the 1635 website, which is in progress. That we met with Tom Z on the preservation of the Fatherstone, that's the Coleman Road. And that we met with the Pink House support about a preservation restriction in progress.
and
Okay.
we took in acquisitions of artifacts this year, I think more than one, right?
There was the instructional board in the school.
Well, that's the
Some good-
schoolhouse, that wasn't a goal or an accomplishment. That's
Okay.
part of the year-end report.
Okay. Now, is this the Excel
This is
sheet?
the Excel spreadsheet only that I'm talking about.
So somewhere, last time we were looking at that, at the end.
Yeah,
We did about the building itself we were
Yeah.
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah,
Repair,
huge.
Oh,
review
you
and
got all
update
that?
facilities, Lower Green Schoolhouse. Window repair, roof
Oh, okay.
replacement, outside painting, and then I put access, properties and facilities usage, with the ADA improvements, bids and things, that's what I had, 1635 website, anything that had, what the measure was, we have to get bids and grants, and I put them all for 2023 because
She making everybody do this?
I'm sorry?
Aren't she making all the committees do this?
Did you see the other email that came from that lady out of nowhere? Well, you go on it. And I'm reading it and I went, this is the same thing that Tracy sent. So she sent it to us and then the lady that's asking for the actual information to compile sent us an email too. So now we have 2 emails about this spreadsheet, so.
So did you, on the update facilities, do you have the update doors that we discussed? These
I
are
thought
just
I
my
did.
notes from the last meeting.
Oh, I must have missed the doors. Window repair, roof replacement. Oh, you know what? I bet it fell off the side.
And then
Doors,
if we're going to do something about ADA compliance?
that's under that. I
Okay.
did say that. Assess properties and facilities usage is the object and the measurement is ADA improvements.
Okay.
So I have the outside painting. I thought I put it in there, but I'm wondering if it fell out of the column. It's in Excel. It does weird things, so.
yeah.
So we need the doors to be repaired and/or replaced. It have to be period, repaired, and the lock. See, I know I put this somewhere, but I don't see it there.
And were we also going to do something with the alarm, updating the alarm?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, very good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a long.
It's a good one, because that's a, we'll have to figure out probably a little bit of money for that, figuring out whatever we need for.
No, it's usually subscription.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's free.
like, Is it free? Are those
Then it's a
free?
subscription after that. But Lon's gotta find out from the town
If
who
they-
we're
if they
using
have
for
a
all the
preferred
other
vendor
buildings.
and-
Gotcha.
Because otherwise we've got to go out to bids.
Yeah, so it'll just be added on to whoever the town's vendor for alarms is,
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
which the one in
Should be
Salisbury just
assistant.
went out of business.
Oh, really? Everyone's going out of business like,
Holy
thank you,
moly.
guy.
The town paint place just went out.
Which one?
Newburyport.
No.
Yeah,
Newburyport paint and wallpaper and paint
it's
here?
been bought
Oh,
out by.
no, you're on
a
alarms. I thought he said paint too.
No, the paint, yeah. It's been bought out by a New York company.
Yes, and they are now in the process of readjusting the pricing
Oh,
because the guy who just did my ceiling, thank the good Lord, went
Ah.
to get something and said, these prices are ridiculous. And they go, we know, we're working with the company that just took us over because we can't sell anything at these prices in this small store. So
Wow.
they're
Yeah.
working on that, so that takes
good to
care
know.
of.
I like those guys. They're
That's-
nice guys.
Yeah.
Okay, school, all right, schoolhouse is unfinished, but you got it on the list there, so.
Well, I
roof.
read this stuff, yeah.
All right, so goal here is to replace with same with modern materials on the roof of the schoolhouse. I've come up with 3 companies that manufacture a composite or synthetic cedar shake. Terminology on these changes. I apologize for my printer.
Yeah,
There's two.
this is the same one I found.
Yeah.
There's which I think they get carried away with. They call it a split shake, which is all ripply, and you want to think of Storyland Village or Disney or something.
Yeah.
The other one is a sawn shake. So it's hand split and sawn shake. I just contacted all 3 of these companies last night.
Da Vinci?
Da Vinci is getting back to me. There's Cedar.
Yes, CEDUR.
Yeah, their ones are very thick. I wasn't crazy about them. There's Enviro Shake, which I met them at the historical trade show, but they're a Canadian company. And then I wasn't impressed with their discussion about warranty, which was, everybody's saying 50-year warranty. We weren't, but, and then, so I started reading, it says read the warranty in the drop down. So I started to read it, and it said 50 years. So I said the 50 years is really good.
Yeah.
But then I started looking at EnviroShake. Well, it's only 5 years for encompassing everything.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, well, if there's something wrong with the shingle, we'll give you some more shingles.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not coming to fix your roof. It's like, wait a minute. And so we have Cedar, we have Da Vinci, we have Brava Roof Tile Company. I talked to her for quite a while on the phone today. They're 3 months behind on their orders. They do have an installer in Manchester, New Hampshire, and their product comes through ABC Roofing, which is a New Hampshire company, so readily available. So I was warming up to Brava. I've yet to talk to the facilities chief, head of DPW guy, to see. I think I'm just going to start calling these guys to find out about getting prices.
Should we be thinking about like throwing a tarp over the roof before the next snow?
Is
No,
it that bad?
It's. I know that it's wet on the inside.
Yeah.
But is it dripping?
I mean, there's no, there were no stains on the ceiling or anything, you know, so.
Do we have a big black tarp? I got a wooden one.
We
like a
can
giant
put some
blue
turkey
one.
trays up there. If we find a leak, we can we can lay a tarp up there.
If we laid a tarp even just over the floor, is that what you're saying?
Well, I
In
was
the
saying
attic?
over
No,
the roof.
drape
Over
it
the
over the
roof
roof.
with the wind?
Yeah.
It'll turn into a nightmare up there. We'll see if we can.
You'd have to like drill holes to secure, I mean, the wind is wicked, because if I went to do that in my house, it'd be gone, which several houses in my area got
I've
new
done it.
roofs,
So we
or part of them are
we
gone.
posted this on listserv as a question, and we got 2 responses from people that says, no, you can use western yellow cedar shingles, and another guy with another recommendation for a wooden shingle. Price, I was just at Home Depot. The shingle, the Class A, they're $100 a bundle.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it
Yep.
ridiculous?
Rough estimates per square foot, and I don't know how dated these estimates are. So if we went with raw cedar, $30 a square foot. Synthetic shake, somewhere around $18 a square foot, and an asphalt roof around $8 a square foot. The selling pitch to the synthetic shakes is one, it's recycled material, so we get points for that. 2, 50-year lifespan. I just don't see going wood there. It's a dark, damp corner there. It's not out in the sun. I just see the
Can
same
we get
nightmare.
samples? Like, do we know what they look like?
We will. That's the next step.
Yeah.
Next step, just getting a hold of these people.
So are you talking repair?
No,
or
completely
replace?
replaced.
Replace
Completely
completely.
replaced.
Okay, because the whole schoolhouse is not in a dark, dank place.
Yeah, but some of it is, some of it. It
It's
does.
just
It never
that
dries.
corner will always rot out. Is what he's
It'll,
nervous for.
any part that doesn't get sun every single day is gonna rot out. And even then, that was old growth cedar. So they're saying, oh, some special western yellow cedar or something works better. And I don't wanna get into it. I just see if we can find the best cedar shake, and we'll get credits because it'll look just right. And
Do
go
it
forward
once,
with
do it
it.
right.
Okay, but you keep saying cedar shakes, but they're not really
They're
cedar.
not cedar, they're composite.
Synthetic.
I'm just making
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
'cause
So-
I have to write these notes.
Composite cedar shake.
So those are plastic shingles. They look just like real cedar shingles. One of the companies has a choice of up to 9 colors. Some have different patterns. Some are one company, the shingle's 12 inches wide, and they put a slot so it looks like 2 shingles, and then there's like 7 different combinations. They keep spreading them around the roof, and they come pre-bundled by a computer, so they're never 2 like ones together. So I gotta get a system going and contact all these people, find out who the rep is, and invite all of them down, and go from there. So that's the report on the roof.
Cool. That'll be interesting.
So again, with the question, should we put a tarp, do you think? Should we put a tarp down on the floor in the attic just
The
so it won't
situ-
go through?
No, I like the idea of if we get some shallow pans.
We can get,
drip
Okay,
pans.
we can get drip pans, and then we can monitor them. If you try to put a tarp up there, then the tarp fills up, then what do you do with it?
Yeah.
It's like, you put a turkey pan up there, on a hot sunny day, the turkey pan evaporates.
Mhm.
If it gets chronic, then we're just gonna have to monitor it.
Mhm.
And we'll keep
I'm
going
thinking, even,
forward.
even though we haven't had any snow yet this year, I'm just thinking of the snowpack
Collapsing.
on top of it,
I
Yeah,
don't think, I've been watching the weather like a hawk. I don't think we're having anything with huge accumulation in the next,
next 10 days is gonna be 50-something degrees.
yeah.
Okay.
So keep,
March is probably gonna be a wet, cold, and like April.
Watch it, Jerry.
I'm not. I want it to be green and sunny.
Yeah,
so,
So you can put your brownies on it?
Yeah.
all right, that's roof report.
So what is this turkey pan? Am I like, is this like
A turkey
tin
pan.
foil?
Yeah,
You're
the ones
talking?
that you buy.
Well, you say it like it was some kind of special thing, and I'm
It's
like,
an
oh,
international trade. It's something that all building people use for almost everything now.
and when you go to
Lots of
Market Basket
things.
and you look at it, it says turkey pan.
well, it depends on what size you get.
Oh, true.
Because I use
wants
it to
to
put
be
the
looked
cat
at.
litter in when I'm changing the box.
You can use it for lots of things.
So
Okay.
we're gonna get those? Is that, are we gonna tell Lon
No,
to get an
no,
ex?
So we'll have to keep going up there and check it. I
Yeah.
mean, you eyeball it if you get a chance.
Yep.
And,
5-gallon
Is this
bucket a year.
is this not something that we can ask James to have every week or so, someone just double check it
I
from
think
DPW?
that's
It's
just
right up
gonna
the
be-
street from them.
I mean, I think if we have like a really bad rainstorm, maybe
We
it's
gotta
worth
go up and
checking
check, yeah.
afterwards, you know, because otherwise it's no,
No, I don't think getting them involved is gonna, next thing we'll have is somebody falling through our ceiling.
yeah, that's a good point.
Okay,
So you guys are gonna all take
Let's-
turns checking on it?
Less cooks in the kitchen, yes.
unfinished business. Whoop,
Anybody who wants to watch these things must not sleep at night, because
Who watches them?
I don't, well, it tells you on
How many views?
YouTube how many views we've had, and I'm like, are
Well,
you kidding me?
I
I'm
feel
falling
bad.
asleep, and I was at the meeting.
Very excited.
Go, sorry, go ahead.
okay,
You're on.
has our budget been submitted?
How would I know? I don't do the budget. You do the budget with the treasurer. I just got the email about this, getting the report to Julie for the town meeting. I sent you an email and told you I have never done anything to do with the budget, and if you recall the one time I did, you blew a gasket. So that's on Lon, so I asked him if he would please make an effort to look at his email and see if he got anything from the town accountant asking for the budget.
Yes,
Okay.
they want the budget.
Did you get an email about it?
Yeah, that's what I told you last meeting.
Well, last meeting you told me that I should have it. I don't have it. I never get it, and you didn't send it to me, and I don't have anything to do with treasury. That's why I'm the secretary.
How,
All right, well, Lon's out of commission, so
yeah.
It's
Who
a
hands-
question of changing the numbers from, and he told me you do it.
this year?
No.
In general.
He does them and you send them, he sends it to you for approval every year.
Okay.
So I'm like in between here.
All right,
I can contact accounting and ask them if they would forward. And
Yeah.
Maybe because he's out of commission, because he's,
yeah,
you know,
But-
maybe they can make an
But,
exception.
well, it's not making an exception, it's because he's the one who does it, so that everything that, every time there's anything to do with it, he's the one that either calls them, goes in, gets it, he's the treasurer.
Right, well, right,
So-
that makes sense.
I've never gotten anything except for the report, which I put here, and you, that was before you came, and I said I gave it to everybody in case they saw something and said like, you know, can't we get rid of this line? Yeah. I mean, I've updated it as we've gone along,
Yeah.
but a lot of it is original from Chris.
yeah. Well,
So, I try to update it with things, like I put in the
It's
town
fine.
days and all that
it's
stuff,
fine, it's
so.
just in the town book. at the
I know,
meeting.
but I just, in case somebody read it and said, well, why did we mention
I
this?
was,
Or-
I was wondering, like, what is this even for?
It's in the book you can get at the
Town meeting?
Yeah, but it's not the one with the budgets and stuff in it, it's one with all little notes. Like,
Each
all the
department has to do
department
their
has their
annual
own
report.
thing and everything.
Gotcha.
But it's not the thing that we vote on because it can't be in the book because it hasn't been voted on yet. There's always two things
So
there. One is spirally bound and one is like a stapled group that would sit there and go, we're on Article what?
Yeah.
You know, so.
When is town meeting? That's soon, right?
April.
Yeah, well, I feel like April's in a minute.
All right, so I will, he's gonna look for me, because I asked him specifically, just search for those two names in town accountant and see if he has an email.
All
On the
right,
phone today, literally on the phone,
Okay.
so it's not like he didn't read an email, because we actually spoke.
okay.
Okay.
Anything else on the unfinished business?
I updated it,
Okay,
we see if I have a fresh one, you can start scribbling on.
all right.
So, anything new that you
Yes, I have no, I have new business.
have new business?
What's new?
Town hall. They're going like crazy
Yeah,
on
I
this.
know. Why are they so obsessed with building such a big piece of town hall when,
So let's cover our portion of this.
like, why do they
What
need
is
to tear
that-
that one down? I don't understand it. Like,
Well-
what's the obsession with tearing it down?
Because it's not big enough. Okay, if they go to tear it down, it still triggers a demolition delay because because of its age and because it's in a National Historic Register district.
Right.
But like everything else, our 9-month waiting period, hence why I think we should go for 2 years and make it 50 years old instead of 18, 20.
I know, I'm starting to agree with that wholeheartedly.
And I
honestly.
think because it's things like this is how we got it
Yeah,
in the first place, because of the Bushy Farm
right, no, I remember.
and
The lane
yeah,
next door.
Becca's house.
But
So, on the lane that goes into the Spence Pierce Little Farm.
it's still, it's not getting you any further, like the head of the Newburyport said 10 years ago. The success rate to it is very low. So look at this, whether this town hall building, whether it's 9-month waiting period or 2-year waiting
They
period,
just waited out.
they're just gonna wait it out.
Yeah,
And there's nobody waiting outside that door to save it. There's nobody to save it. So it's not doing anything. This Little's Lane, that was Little's Lane, right? That was Little's Lane. That was a whole house, an antique house. That was a good
They did say the carriage
example.
house because Spence Pierce Little Farm has it, I think. It was deeded over to them.
So they, even though maybe there was nobody to save Little Lane, maybe because it was on that site, maybe something else could have been done with it. So they needed time to study it and see if there was an alternate thing that could be done. Bushy Farm, same type of situation. And 9-month or longer, I'm not impressed with its performance because it's not, everybody thinks we're gonna rush in and save something.
Yeah.
All we're doing is stopping the clock for somebody else to save something, if there's nobody there waiting to save it, like the Pink House.
right.
The Pink House is the only success story going on, but that's the scenario for the demolition delay bylaw. To give time for somebody to come up with an idea or a system or
You
something.
can put that in the demolition delay bylaw. They have a bylaw for that too you can create. Where it, the part of the delays, I've been printing some of them from different, because I went through 98 emails and reading them. People have changed them, and what they've done is they've made an inclusion in it that if they can't stop the demo, if they can't stop it, they put a stop on it, and they tell them they have to find someone to take the property, like move the house, so we don't lose the building.
They're not moving
This-
this.
You're not gonna be able to move.
No, but I mean,
I know, right? Like, no
but
way.
if it was the Adams house, somebody, it would think of something to stop it, but the only way to stop that is preservation restrictions.
And
Right. So we need to, it's much more important
But
than.
my thing about the DDB was this, when we have people like 105 High Road that buy a house and then they want to add all these other houses, but they want to tear down what's in their way so they can make a big long lane, if you make them wait 2 years, but they have to trigger it first, meaning they ask for the demolition permit, then it triggers the demolition delay bylaw, not the chit chat about that they're gonna think they're gonna take it down. Then they have to wait 2 years. We can string it out for 2 years. You want,
Yeah,
you
you
think
have
they
to make
wanna,
it inconvenience for me.
are they gonna sit there for 2 years to go to start this development?
Yeah. And the
After they've
developer
already
isn't gonna
done, but
sit on a
after
piece of
they've gone
property for 2
through
years.
planning, conservation commission, and everybody else. That's my thing, it's just, throw a little more of an anchor out. Right now, it's like a drop in a bucket.
Yeah.
It's 9
2
months.
years- is 2 years the max?
It takes them, I don't think so, but that's, I mean, some of them have gone, some of them I think went crazy, and they're like 10, you know, like they try to go like 5 years or something, but I mean, a lot of people, the thing is that there's different ways to word them now, and make additions and caveats, so that if you're going to just, if you want to demo it, you have to prove that you can't find somebody to take the building, and they give them so much time to do that into. And then there's the other thing, like I was reading that they're having that thing on. If you're gonna tear it down, then you have to save the materials,
Right.
which is what we want them to do with 1 Main Street. If you're gonna
Right.
mow the thing down, we did the same thing
Salvage
with
as much as possible.
Governors,
Yeah.
right?
Well, Governors was good because they own all the buildings. They could save that one pickup truck full of stuff. Main Street, that was a recommendation. That's about all we could do.
No, but we did recommend it, and it's part of the, I mean, if we have to sign off on the thing because of its age, well, we can, you know, we got 9 months to sit on it until they hand us over these parts that we want. I mean, but 2 years,
So-
that's really annoying when you want to
So
build a
I
new
saw a
house.
pitch at one point that they were gonna redo the fire up station too, and
I guess there's more than one.
there's
pitch
all
to
these different
that.
pitches, and I was like,
But the
how
question
many
is,
different projects are we talking
well,
about?
we
here?
only
Right.
approved the upgrade of Town Hall with, I believe it was an extension possibly on the back, and a new police station. So my question then is, and which will come up, I'm sure, in town meeting, is where are they getting the assumption that we've approved this?
No, they're just full throttle. But let's get back to course.
What course are we on now? I lost track.
Well, you said town
Record.
hall, and we went
Clerk,
off the tangent.
Clerk, have we received any communication from Town Hall Construction Committee?
No.
No, please record that in the minutes. As far as demolition, so it's written in their proposal that they're demolishing that building.
Okay.
So this is what's catching me a strike. Anthony contacted me today and said, what's the Historic Commission doing? I said, we don't know anything about it. So that's where we stand at this point, so we'll wait. Your point, so for clarification, Jan reminding us that there is automatically a demolition delay bylaw delay on that building because it is in the historic district.
And it's a historic building. It's
It's
the
a-
former Grange Hall that the
Yes,
top burnt off and they fixed.
yes.
So it's not like it's a new building besides.
So one of Jack's newspaper articles says there was never a second story. Nancy's always said there was a second story. I don't know how we're ever going to get back to find that article again.
We have to,
Do you?
I think, yes.
Well, we better dig them out.
What do you think I've been doing?
Good. Start a file folder, we're going to need it
Stop.
All right,
for town
Start a
hall
file?
building. So,
I'm just, how
And not
many
only
town
that,
hall
but the whole-
employees are there?
The town hall that's part of the National
6.
Historic Registry District.
Not many.
The whole history of everything was written up in the National Historic Registry District, which you all have probably 4 copies of by now.
Right,
So all the pages are there. I mean,
Right.
the whole thing is there, so the whole history of it should be in there.
yeah.
Shouldn't be any looking for it. Is what I'm saying.
Excuse me, I'm so young.
No,
When I
what,
think of
about the
it.
history about that said building?
Yeah,
Oh, well, Jack, you remember what Jack had put up.
yeah, I know.
He
I
had
got tired
pictures
of
and he
trying
had
to keep track.
articles. We gotta come up with a record-keeping system. We gotta-
No,
we
I
gotta come
have
up
a
with
record-keeping system, not a Jack Rubicki record-keeping system.
Oh,
Newbury Chatter is not part of my job description.
I know, we gotta find a way to print this stuff out and get it in the file folders.
I have most of the stuff printed out and put in file folders that is in a legitimate source, not in a Facebook page in which
All
people
right.
can say anything they want.
All right, so, but, no, we're talking about the history of the town hall, whether it had a second floor or not.
Right,
To get back into, you're the architectural department
Yes.
history here.
yes.
Is the new plan renders a building that looks exactly like the Woodbridge School.
Yeah, it's a monstrosity. It's so big, and I don't even know how they would even fit it on this lot. It
Now,
looks-
the latest design ideas, the new bank in Ipswich, the Salisbury Library, is all the Stonefield, Waldingfield, Stonefield Cottage
yeah.
fitted buildings. Why not we, and that's what this town hall building is. Why are we duplicating this, the Woodbridge School, which is just an oversized military building? I don't, it's just a square box.
It is a square box. And when they first started the triple play, when we were still over there, we were in this meeting, had a meeting in this room with the whole group of people because to talk about the whole thing. And I said to the selectmen, the picture you have on the front of this thing is shutting everybody down before they even look at it. Because this is not City Hall Plaza. This is Newbury. It should look like the
It sh-
Newbury Town Hall.
To quote the planning board thing there, replace with same. It needs to be, it needs to, all its attributes need to be similar to that building,
Yeah.
not the Woodbridge School. All right, so we need to get that stuff on the front burner so we can have it.
Do you have the whole big thing or you don't? All right.
You got the map.
I mean, I have it. That's the Woodbridge. This is the old times. I do have the actual submission, which I'm not, I don't, you
I don't think
guys
I-
don't have the whole submission. But
Well-
I will
Yeah.
review the National Historic Registry submission
We
of the
better-
town.
We better print up 5 copies. Well, 5
Fine,
copies.
look for your copies first,
Well-
and then we'll see.
5 copies of all town hall history information.
Yeah. We gotta knock this down, because I think it's outrageous. I really do. We don't need it. It's like,
So-
they're so overbuilding it. They're thinking we're a city of
10,000
50,000.
square feet for the,
All right, well, let's stick to
Right?
historical commission part of it.
Yeah. That's what I,
Yeah.
well, it's
each
just,
floor, 10,000 square feet. Was that what it was, I think?
It's
I don't know.
ridiculous.
So
it's overly built for the space and the location.
thank you for looking, Rich. Okay, now what?
All right,
Oh, great one.
that is,
That's
so
it,
we
right?
finished on unfinished business, we're on new business. Do we have any other business before the board tonight?
No.
Not that I know. Do you have any other emails or anything?
No, I finally made it through the list. It wasn't so bad because we didn't have a 2-month delay.
Good. Good stuff.
So anything that, I guess Lon's the only one that's going to be able to talk to Joni about the information for the ride, right?
Yeah, if he can, I mean, unless I go over there and like knock on the door, I never see her. She doesn't even wave at me when she drives by.
I give up with some stuff. I can't.
Okay, I hear a motion to adjourn.
Let's do it.
I move that we adjourn.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Camera.